No man cannot hinder me. Right on, King Yahshua. No man cannot hinder me. Right on, King Yahshua. Right on, no man cannot hinder me. No man cannot hinder me. No man cannot hinder me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Catherine Smith. I'll be your moderator for this class session. Welcome to the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research. This is a school and not a church, and neither are we affiliated with any religious organization. This school is a non-profit, non-denominational, religious, and scientific research organization dedicated to showing proof of the existence of Yahweh, our Elohim, and the operation of His eternal purpose, pattern, and plan operating throughout eternity to this present day. This school was established as a result of a divine vision and revelation given to our founder, Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley, in the state of Ohio in the year 1931. We were incorporated in the state of California in the year 1958. Since that time, we have established branch schools throughout the United States, Canada, and certain other foreign countries. The Memphis branch was established in 1973. In this school, we use the true, correct, and original name and title of the Father, the Word, our Son, and the Holy Spirit as contained in the original Hebrew text. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. This has been improperly substituted with Lord. The true title, the Word, our Son, is Elohim. This has been improperly substituted with God. The name of the Holy Spirit manifested in or out of a physical body is Yahshua. This has been erroneously substituted with Jesus Christ. Lord and God are titles and not names. The Apostle Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, tells us in 1 Corinthians 8 and 5 that there are Lords many and Gods many. But we now know that each Lord must have a name and each God must have a name also. Elohim is a title, but unlike Lord and God, Elohim is a divine title. This means that Elohim is the title that our Creator chose for Himself. Jesus is a name, but it is an erroneous name. A minor investigation on your part in a good dictionary or encyclopedia would prove that neither the Hebrew language, the Greek language, nor the Latin language have any characters or letters in their alphabet that would produce the sound that's made by this letter J. Neither was there a letter J in the English language until some 1600 years after the Messiah's death. Therefore, such names as Jesus and Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true and original name of our Father and His Son. Christ is a title just like Lord and God. Yahweh is pure spirit, and in this state He is incomprehensible and inscrutable. He is the ultimate source, substance, limits, and bounds of everything. We have Yahweh in His pure spirit state symbolized on this chart as a cloud. Yahweh is not a cloud. He merely chose a cloud to symbolize Himself because a cloud has no particular or descriptive shape or form. We've drawn this cloud all around the edges of this chart to show you that everything on this chart is within the cloud. In like manner, everything in the universe abides within the pure spirit state of Yahweh. Yahweh, knowing that man could not perceive of Him in His pure spirit state, took on shape and took on form right within Himself as Yahweh Elohim. This is the Word or Son, a superincorporeal being, that is, having the shape and form of a man, but without flesh and blood. This form can only be seen in divine vision and understood in divine revelation. Later on, this self-same spirit manifest himself in a physical body and walk the earth plane as Yahshua the Messiah, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. Now, there's only one name given unto salvation, and we must know that name. So the simple yet intelligent question we should ask ourselves is, what was the name of the Savior during the time he walked the earth plane? A further understanding of this name and title may be had by reading the preface of the Holy Name Bible. Also in this school, we teach by divine pattern of the universe. It is called divine pattern because it is Yahweh's pattern. After Yahweh led the children of Israel up out of the land of Egypt, he called Moses atop Mount Sinai and showed him the tabernacle pattern in a vision. Yahweh instructed Moses to build one exactly like it in the wilderness of Sinai. This pattern consisted of a most holy place, and court round about. These three compartments making up the one tabernacle pattern. We go about in this school to show proof how that everything in the universe is made and operates according to the structure and the function of this threefold tabernacle pattern, and that absolutely nothing escapes the pattern. We have 10 primary aims or constitution objectives of the Institute, and they are as follows. First is to help you find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and actually exists. Second, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua the Messiah without distinction of race, nationality, creed, set, caste, or color. Third, to investigate the unexplained spirit law, a so-called law of nature and the powers latent in man. Fourth, to encourage and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religion, psychology, philosophy, both modern, practical, and occult science. Fifth, to extirpate current superstitions, skepticism, and ignorance. Sixth, to learn, know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. Seventh, to discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan and his demons operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensation of time. Eighth is to earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith which was once delivered unto the sons or children of Yahweh. Ninth is to make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is none other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving in the name of Yahshua the Messiah. 10th, to inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. Our watchword is peace. Slogan, speak the truth. We'll have prayer by Sister Jessica Forsythe. Our scripture lesson is Isaiah the 46th chapter, read by Sister Kathleen Banks.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
So bow our hearts and our minds and give thanks to Yahweh for bringing us together again. Pray for the ones that couldn't make it, the ones that don't know the name yet, and the ones that can't come back. Let us understand what he's about to teach us and give thanks to him. Let the body say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
I'll be reading Isaiah 46 chapter taken from the Holy Name Bible, containing the Holy Name version of the Old and New Testaments, critically compared with ancient authorities in various manuscripts, revised by A.B. Trainer, the Scripture Research Association, Incorporated. Baal boweth down, Nebo stoopeth. Their idols were upon the beast and upon the cattle. Your carriages were heavy loaden. They are a burden to the weary beast. They stoop, they bow down together. They could not deliver the burden. but themselves are gone into captivity. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb. And even to your old age I am he, and even to hoar hairs will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear. Even I will carry, and will deliver you. To whom will ye liken me, and make me equal, and compare me, that we may be like? They lavish gold out of the bag, and weigh silver in the balance, and hire a goldsmith, and he maketh an idol. They fall down, yea, they worship. They bear him upon the shoulder, they carry him, and set him in his place, and he standeth. From his place shall he not remove. Yea, one shall cry unto him, yet can he not answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Remember this, and take it to heart. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am El, and there is none else. I am Elohim, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Calling the eagle from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it. I will also do it. Hearken unto me, ye stout-hearted, that are far from righteousness. I bring near my righteousness, it shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry. And I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. Isaiah 46.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
This morning we're going to have a presentation from Dr. Olivia Dobbins with a trip that she had gone on.
I'd like to say good morning.
Good morning.
And I'm glad to be back from the trip. And it is an honor and a privilege to have anything to say about Yahweh. I didn't get a whole lot of rest. I could say a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't have my normal girls with me. You know, you have your own way of doing stuff in the room, you know. So I couldn't get no rest. And then it was emotional, and I didn't realize how emotional and how draining it was until they called me for the last speaker. They called me the last session, second speaker, and by then on Sunday, 2/3 of the angels had flown. and I was telling somebody, because they were saying, well, why do we have to come to class? You know, why do we have to come to these kind of congregations? You know, and I was trying to explain, and I got emotional, and they was trying to pat me on the back and stuff. And I said, wherever you think you are in your understanding, I said, and each of us, if it hasn't come to you, you will. It's sort of like smallpox, chickenpox, chickenpox, measles, mumps, you know, those childhood diseases. It'll befall you. Okay? Okay, I got to mark it on Yahweh corner. Okay? I know Yahweh. Okay? So I said, many have come to that thought has come across, you know. Then behind that comes, well, why do I make the effort to come to class? Or financially, it looked like everybody was scuffling to get there to the place, you know. So it's like, why do we do this and then we got to go home and worry about car notes and house notes? You know, this don't make good sense, you know. Plus, some people took off, didn't have no vacation time, you know, whatever. You could tell that they were in a financial strain. So the question was, why, not so much bother, but why make that effort? and then I got to go back and deal with this. So the point I was trying to make is that we are witnesses. We are witnesses, and they had visitors every session, and some returned. And you know, usually you would see a visitor, and these were 3-hour sessions. You know, so like they might give you 2, and then you know when they give you the 10-minute break, they be the like going to get some water and kept right on going. But I mean, it was miraculous. Can I just say that they would go to the water fountain and you say, no, they gone now, and they just come on back with their cup and sit down, you know. And then you say, well, okay, they stayed 1 session, and then they'll say, well, Mr. So-and-so is back for, these are our returning visitors. So I said, those are reasons that we come together, okay, for them. But I was trying to explain that you get hung up, and people don't mean no harm, but they gas you up. You know, oh, we can't wait to hear from you. Oh, we can't wait to hear from this one. Oh, we can't wait. You know, and that'd be tripping in your head. You know, because you know that it's Yahweh to do it all. It's not you. Right. It's Yahweh to do it all.
Right.
And I was trying to explain to her that if there was no energy in the room, you can feel it. The vessel is trying so hard.
Yeah.
And the way they had it set up, there was a gulf. And there wasn't that energy in that room. And you can see that the vessel's trying so hard, and then just turning to the chart, you know. And I told them my testimony. You up there praying, you trying to bow, you know, and it ain't coming to you, cause it's a two-way street. It is the body that is saying, feed us, and it is Yahweh that is delivering.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was emotional for me to see the people that had trained me there, still hanging on, you know, and in the truth. Come on, it's my cousin. So it was emotional, and then for one of the elders to keep on telling me, I can't wait to hear from you. You know, I can't wait to hear from you. And all I could say was, all I did was keep straight what you gave me.
Yeah.
That's all. That's why you enjoy it, because you really hearing yourself. Right? No, just keep the story straight. And then people say, you know, I know what we think. I can't, you know, what's that thing, Catherine? I can't preach like Peter, pray like Paul. You know, we get to comparing each other. You know, and all of that is happening to me while I'm standing up there on the floor. That these other deans have gone before me, and they have dealt with the purpose of Yahweh, and that wasn't the direction I wanted to go at all. You know, and I felt obliged to try to address what they had said, you know, not reprove what they had said, but just go back over the same, and Yahweh was saying, you know, that ain't your testimony. So I was just twisted up, y'all. And I told him, I said, and you know what, I told him before I got on the stage, when you get twisted up, you're not going to get straight. You're not going to get straight. So the best thing you can do is, when you can't buy a vow, is to relinquish the floor. Right. So when I got up there and I was still twisted up, I relinquished the floor and let another speaker come. But what had twisted me was, we're talking about the purpose of the Creator, who is incomprehensible. Yeah. You know, that's what I had told them before. This ain't the first time we dealt with purpose of Yahweh. And I had tried to share that it is not as awesome as we think if we, what do they say in business and corporate world? They'll say, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
So see, each of us have a bite. Each of us have a bite, or have a bit
Okay.
of the purpose of Yahweh. And when we lay it out, and I had told them that up in Chicago, it's just like a quilt. And you put all them patches together, and you see the purpose of Yahweh. So I'm a show and tell. So I said, well, Yahweh, I try to do it their way. You do it my way. I said, if I make all these PowerPoints for all these other people.
Oh,
Just a minute. So this is what I thought of. Have y'all ever seen this parable? This is the old Indian parable, and it goes back to that how you gonna eat an elephant a little bit at a time. So this is this parable, and I likened it unto the purpose of Yahweh, and that's what got me twisted up was, see, somebody says, because they grab the ivory tusk, an elephant is like a speak. Now these are blind men,
Right.
that have never encountered an elephant before. These got blindfolds on, but in India they were blind, actual blind men. They were coming down the road and bumped into the elephant, and they all started feeling him, saying, what is this we bumped into?
Right.
So the one that's got the tusk said, it's a spear. The one that's wrestling with the trunk says, it's a snake. The one that's got his leg says, it's a tree. The one that's feeling on the side of him says, it's a wall. The one that's got his big whole ears say, it's a fan. And the one that's got that tail says, it's a rope. Okay? Now, in the parable, they get to arguing. And the way it's worded is, I perceive an elephant is most like a spear. Now, the one that's patting up here saying, oh no, I don't feel nothing pointed. It is most like a wall. Then the one that's got this rope say, I don't feel no point, and I don't feel no wall. So see, that's what we can, not saying our class, but that's what can happen when we start talking about the purpose of Yahweh, because it is so vast.
okay.
So vast. So all we can do is say, well, this part that I got, it's most like a rope. Let me tell you all about this part I got. And then what? Thank you very much. And this other one can tell you about the wall. And thank you very much. So, in other words, by words of encouragement, the little that we think, well, I ain't got but a little bit, it is part of the purpose, and that is why we keep coming, and that's why he say in the mouth of 100,000 people, two or more, let every word be established. So that talks about that. Okay, so I'm saying that I believe that that's a fair example about the elephant. Though happily we should feel for Yahweh, like they was feeling on there. Give me Acts 17:27. Because that's what, and it seems like the way we preach sometimes we are making fun of people, but it's just that we so happy to be in the light. It's just like with children. I remember that I was telling my cousin, our neighbor that we grew up with, finally told me, you was a horrible kid. She had been hiding it for years. We would get together at funerals or gatherings and, oh, hi Olivia, yeah Olivia, we like telling about it, we like family, we grew up together. I taught her how she did. I taught her how to make mud pies. And finally when I pressed her one day, was a horrible kid. You were spoiled, and you did bad things to the other kids. I'd pour water off. I had a second floor porch. I'd pour water off the porch on them. He coming by. I was locked up on the second floor porch. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So people that know us know from whence we came. Go to, okay, you got that Acts 17:27.
That they should seek him.
Why don't we go up just a little bit?
Okay. Let's go to 24.
Why don't we go to Mars
22.
Hills?
Okay. Acts 17 and 22.
Okay.
Then Saul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said,
Now, if we brought Mars Hills forward, Mars Hills is where they had all of these statues set up to all of these different deities. Okay, and each deity had its own form of worship.
Right.
Zeus has his form of worship. His wife has her form of worship. Hera, whoever, Diana, all of them have their own form of worship, and they basically had their own temples. And you know what? I tell people, Tennessee ain't nothing to play with. Do you know that we got a Parthenon in Nashville that is to scale?
it's beautiful.
And for years you would go there and it was all locked up and boarded up. So I thought that that's what it was until I saw on TV, national TV, what they were doing inside. They were restoring that statue and gold plating it. And I saw on TV what that statue was in there. It was what, to Zeus, or it was somebody in there, and they were gold plating it, and it's to scale. So we got a Parthenon and they god. We got the largest pyramid outside of, what is it, in this hemisphere, outside of Egypt, downtown. The only reason we don't get the scope of how big it is that it's in a gullet when we walk up on it. It is recessed. It would be even more awesome if it was ground level. And then what stood in front of the pyramid for years? Pharaoh, Ramses. Ramses the Lesser,
The great.
Great, stood there in front of it. I always take y'all's picture.
I know I seen it. Okay.
So that's Ramses himself was a god, and the pyramid was part of their resurrection worship. Tennessee got it all. So here he is in Mars Hills. There's a statue to every deity. Read.
Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are devoted to the worship of idols. For as I passed by and beheld your objects of worship, I found an altar with
Okay,
this
give me King
inscription.
James Version.
Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious.
Look, all I can do is share when I came in class. Do you know what one of the hit songs was? Superstition. I say, damn! So when they call that, the dean would say, you are too superstitious. We'd all be humming. Because Stevie Wonder was saying very superstitious. He said, the writing's on the wall. Believe in things that you don't understand. This superstition is your way. So he's in Mars Hills. He says superstition is your way. Read.
For as I passed by and beheld your devotion, I found an altar with the inscription.
Now you done had all of these. Hermes, this one, Pegasus, Mercury, you know, with the little winged feet. And folks, do you know we are steeped in that stuff when you go to a floral shop, especially if you want to wire it. They got him out there. Mercury with these little winged feet. That means that they're FTD. We can send you flowers. Flowers by wire. Get it there today. Everywhere. Read.
I found an altar with this inscription: to the unknown.
There's an unknown.
to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly
Now, you don't even
worship.
know what to call this one, because see, all the rest of them got a name. This one just say unnamed, unknown. So you can't do nothing but ignorantly worship him, because you don't know whether one is male or female, how he wants to be worshipped, what he does. But see, old folk used to have a saying, we covering the waterfront. We ain't gonna leave no stone unturned, and we don't want to offend nobody. So this to catch y'all. Just the unknown. Read.
Him declare I unto you.
Now the one that you don't know nothing about, that's who we're gonna declare. Read.
Elohim that made the world.
What's it saying, holding it right there?
Yahweh.
Yahweh. And that's what I hopefully I will get into. See, the first thing we got to tell you about this unknown is a declaration. He got a name.
Yep.
Yes.
Yahweh. We can say Yahweh. Put a period. Then his qualifications. Who did what?
Who made the world.
Yahweh. Period. I'm just saying period. Or dash.
Or colon.
Who or colon.
Yep.
Who made the world. Oh, y'all, you standing on the world? Well, let me tell you about the one that made them. What's my favorite fireman Bill? Let me tell you something.
That was my boy.
And all things there.
Oh, wait now, just not the world, but all things, what?
Therein.
So we think we done gone down in the deepest, darkest abyss. Got little Alvin, them down, all them little things even got names. They down there roaming around, flashing lights, and they automated. And they said, okay, there's a species that open the little door and they suck the little thing up and let the little lid close. When they bring it back up, all these little specimen cups and stuff. Oh, this is a white, furry, blind lobster. Well, let's throw him over there into this unknown that we're going to tell you something about, because it's Yahweh who made the world, and what? All things therein knew that there was a white, furry lobster because he made it. That's why he's incomprehensible.
Yes.
No matter where they go, they find life. That's why they're so worried about the rainforest and stuff, because every time they go to the Amazon rainforest and Costa Rica and those different rainforests, they go in there and they say, hitherto unknown. What is the phrase they get? Not seen before. They give him some kind of old long name, a frog, and then they wipe the slime off the frog and find that this is the cure for this and that.
Yes.
Yahweh done made all of this stuff, and we just
Not to mention the plants.
and the plants that are there, and we just now coming and stumbling upon them. Yahweh put them there.
Yep.
They just didn't come from, they want to say, from comets falling and came down here like passengers. Read.
Yahweh who made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is ruler of heaven and earth.
Seeing. Better see something. The old folk tell me, did I see here?
Yeah.
See here. Means recognize. Seeing that he what?
Is ruler of heaven and earth.
He's ruler of heaven and earth. That's the angelic and the physical.
Right.
Read.
He dwelleth not in temples made with hands.
Okay, we're going through his resume. Yahweh, colon. We know it in a colon.
Right.
Yahweh, dash, who made the world and all things therein. Where do you live? Well, first off, he does what? Dwelleth not. Well, he's the ruler, and he dwelleth not in temples. Well, to the unknown, who therefore you do what? Ignorantly worship. We got to tell you where the one that you don't know about, who's the ruler of heaven and earth, where he does dwell. Now, if he don't dwell in temples made with hands, everything is made with hands, okay? Everything is made with. So where does he dwell? Inside. Read.
Neither is worshipped with men's hands.
He's not worshipped with men's hands.
As
Read.
though he needed anything. Seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things.
He giveth. Read.
And hath made of one man all nations of men.
Now they want to talk about where do we come from. They you know, they're bringing roots back, and here we are again, state of Tennessee, up there in him in Tennessee. That's where Alex Haley traces stuff back to him in Tennessee. Well, we could go you one further, because Yahweh said he made a what man? One man. Adam.
Right.
And see, that's what's so, that is what is so confounding, and is so, whom therefore you ignorantly worship. Because how can we have racial division and we all cousins? You know, see, they want to say, well, you came from something else, then you came from something else. No, he made all men from what? One man.
Right.
One man, one blood. And in there tracing that thing, 23andMe and all that stuff. And who was the one that has that doctor on there? He's doing it through Ancestry.com. Ooh, I love watching that. Gates. Yeah, Gates. When I'm sure he tells some of them up front before he surprises them. And no offense, they sitting there lily white and they find out they got black blood. Somewhere back there, because see, them genes tell off. Those genes tell off. So if we realize that we have this commonality, then that should do something for it. And I was listening to a vessel talking about different things in the black and the white issue, and of course that's what's happening in politics. What is one of the aims? Isn't it to make a universal? Wait a minute now, because sometimes okay, to form a nucleus of what?
Universal brotherhood.
No, just worldwide brotherhood.
Universal.
Do we ever think that? Because it just hit me right there, and they didn't say worldwide. Universal brotherhood. That means wherever Hubble can see. Now, when they retire Hubble, they got something else they get ready to bring online. Spitzer. Okay, wherever Spitzer can see, Yahweh say that they're going to have to belong to the same brotherhood.
Exactly.
That's why we stumble over the purpose of Yahweh. Just eat your little portion. Eat your portion. Read.
26. And hath made of one man all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed.
No, after the fact.
Before appointed.
That seems like he is predestined. He is appointed afore. Read.
And the bounds of their habitation.
Oh my goodness! And the bounds of your habitation. Then you ain't gonna go no further. And we used to talk about how that we go. It's just so much. Revelations 12th chapter talks about there was a war in heaven. Okay, Lucifer and his angels fought against Michael.
Right.
Michael fought against the dragon. The dragon fought and his angels and prevailed. Who was the and? That did Lucifer and his angels. Prevail not.
Exactly.
And neither was their place found anymore in heaven, because that great dragon was what?
Cast
out.
He was cast out. Now, he was cast out. We don't know what his mindset was. It sure was strong that he was up there fighting in the first place. But then when you go to Ezekiel and you go to Isaiah, and them sons are gathered together, see, Satan is a son also. And they're teasing just like kids. Back in the day, I was telling my cousin when the family that owned the corner store. Now, we're all living in the same neighborhood. They just living around the street. We call it the short end of the street. They own the store. So they were better than the rest of us that lived on the long end of the street. Well, their son would want to come over and play. We'd be playing. Come street light. She stepped to the corner. Philip! She don't have her call you 5 or 6 times back then.
No.
Okay. Punishment would be
swift.
out. Yeah, would be swift.
Yeah.
Okay. Read that again, right there.
And hath made of one man all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth.
Got it. So now she done hollered for Philip. He keep on playing. She done called him 5 or 6 times, and then she stopped. Philip finally was at the age where Philip wanted to play until he wanted to go home. Because we're junior high school age now. We're in elementary school age. Philip, go home. Okay? We know the drill. So all of us is walking to school the next day. Hey, Philip! Philip got a whooping! Philip got a whooping! So these are the other sons teasing Lucifer. How art thou fallen from heaven? Oh, Lucifer, son of the morning! Why don't you get that for me? Is that one in Isaiah or Ezekiel?
Isaiah 14.
Isaiah 14 and 12.
Okay.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
You fell from heaven. How did you fall? How did you get that whipping, Philip?
Son of the morning.
Son of Zachary?
How art thou cut down to the ground?
Oh, man. You was in heaven and you've been cut down to the ground. Do you know when you cut grass down to the ground, it burns?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too low. I told my yard man, I don't know what was wrong with him. He was just scalping it and gouging it, just cutting it down to the ground. And Yahweh said, that's how I cut Lucifer down, just so ain't nothing gonna roll back from him. Read.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart.
Wait a minute, where did you say it at?
In your heart.
See, that's what we gotta watch that.
Okay.
Them secret things. He said in his heart. Read.
I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of air.
Now, read.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Now, you asked somebody about that, what they're talking about, they would not know. It's talking about how the Yahweh led the children of Israel by a cloud, pillar of cloud by day, pillar of fire by night, through the Red Sea, out here into the wilderness of Sinai. That cloud that led them went up atop of Mount Sinai, and Yahweh spoke to them from within the cloud. Now we know it was really spiritual, but he spoke from the cloud. So Lucifer says, and then Yahweh said, put bounds around the mountain, right? And he called for Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and the 70 elders could come near Yahweh. Everybody else, there's bounds. If a beast just stumble up into it, what? Thrust him through with a dart. Lucifer say, I'm gonna sit on the mountain. What? He trying to be, and then after all that he gonna do, what's the last one of them?
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Yahweh will dwell there in a cloud. He said, I'm gonna get above it. Yahweh dwelt in a cloud symbolically atop of the mercy seat. What did it say? I'm going to get above it. Yahweh dwell here within the cloud. Lucifer say, no, I'm going to reign. So you got to watch it. Watch it now.
I will be like.
I can just cut it dry. I'm going to be like the Most High. So whatever he does, I'm going to be like the Most High. So, Hubble, Spencer, all these different things. And we're talking about Yahweh has set the bounds of their habitations. If Lucifer was in an exalted state, now of course, heaven is not the heavens above like we know, but that's a type of the shadow. If he's been thrown out of that, and he's cut down to the ground, he is bound to the earth plane. He's chained to the earth plane, never to ascend again. He says, I'm going back. Just like I said I am. We're talking about Jesus is coming back. No, I'm going back. So what's he do? He shoots off rockets. And he wants to go back. But he's bound in physical bodies. So Yahweh has set man, or the physical realm's bounds, on the earth plane. So Satan gets in bodies and goes up into the heavens in these spacecraft. They finally got a good test because they were twins. One went up and one stayed. And when they brought him back, well, there was a slight physical differences that weren't there before. One that they had noticed all along is that there's no gravity. See, even the fact that gravity pulls us is causing, we don't even feel it, just little minute, microscopic movements our body is making to keep balance because of gravity. And we think, we look at them electric belts we put on it, you know, Yahweh got that going, just, you know, and to move on the airplane, to lift that leg and bring it down and not just shatter it.
That's right.
Ain't that work? Up there, they're in what? Weightlessness. No resistance. And that's what I was trying to tell them. What is Yahweh doing? He's working out. To work out, you have to have, they call it resistance training.
Exactly.
So up there, there's no resistance. They're weightless. Their muscles draw. So what are they trying to do now? Every time you see them, they're on a bicycle. That don't make you still pedaling in weightlessness. That's just like that exercise back over there. I can say, oh, how many reps? It don't matter because I turn the tension down to 0. I ain't riding like you see that Palatine, like I'm riding up a hill. No, I'm just barely pedaling, but I'm cutting up. That's what they're doing. Weightless. Weightless. Gotta squeeze the food out.
Yeah.
In like toothpaste.
Yeah.
What? No, I can just belabor. That's showing you that's not you've passed the bounds of your habitation. And you gotta come back. They can stay up there in those the space lab so long. They trying to see how far they can press this thing. But Yahweh said the bounds of your habitation is the earth plane.
That's right.
Read. Long before they were rockets.
I will be like the Most High.
Okay, I'm back over to Acts.
17 and 26. And hath made of one man all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek him, if haply they might feel after.
Have you ever lost something and just, we call it stumble across it? That's how Yahweh is, and you just happen stands across it. Well, we come to find out we're surrounded with a great cloud of witnesses. We can't help but stumble upon it. But it takes him to say, just like you had your glasses up like this, and you tearing up the house, and somebody say, what's that on the top of your head? So Yahweh got to say, what's that on when you say on your forehead? Oh, that's a Y. Oh, that's an A. What about this? Oh, that's an H. But he's got to show it to you. Okay, we're going to skip on. Okay. What our minds can grasp of the infinite is always going to be finite.
Okay.
It's always going to have limits and bounds. He does not have limits and bounds. Or what we can grasp of the unlimited is limited at best. The same way we talk about there's H2O in the room in its gaseous state. And over in Proverbs it says, who can gather the wind in his fist? We can gather all day. We can't. We were joking about that wind came through and blew the fan like this out the window, threw it out on the floor. And there was going to have to be some workmen on my roof yesterday. I was saying, they ain't going to get no work done with this wind. You know, so who can, but I wanted to buy it in a fist. I had to get that work done. But who can do all of this? Only Yahweh. So, and then H2O, cool it down or slow it down, it becomes what? Water. Condensation. You ain't too good at that. Boy, when we was kids, didn't we try every kind of way to licking our fingers together? Cupping this head, and our parents would just send us out. You gotta have that. You gotta find the right hand to go on. Catch the water, you can't. But an ice cube, oh, you can play with that all day long. That's the concrete. That's Yahweh in a lesser state. Still same power and everything, but in a state that we can handle. So what is a purpose? One definition was the reason for which something exists. It doesn't his name, I'm going to skip through some of this. Doesn't his name come from the verb hey yah, which means to be or to exist?
Right.
So what is his reason to exist? Or what is the reason the creation exists? To prove the one that does exist.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
A purpose. The reason for which something is done. Why does he have offspring? To show you that he's pluripotent.
Omnipotent.
Pluripotent
Oh.
means that
Produce.
yeah, in all different types of manifestations.
Oh, okay.
Okay? The reason for which something is made. The whole creation was made to understand him. Okay, purpose, an intended or desired result. I was listening to Vessel this morning, said we have 10 primary constitutional
Aims.
or purposes. Our first one was to help you find,
And
because you didn't know where he lived. Okay, now that's the noun. Verb, that's action. To set as an aim. He's made, Yahweh himself made his own aims.
Yeah.
I'm the unknown. So my first thing is I gotta help you find it. To set an aim, a goal for what? That's oneself. That's why he said, you always set goals and marks and levels for me. But you work for a place, you can't holler out, but what about your goals?
Right.
To resolve. It said that he did it beforehand. He resolved. And then, of course, that's one of our scriptures we use. According to his good pleasure, which he purposed where?
In himself.
In himself. And then we go to Ephesians 1 and 9, and it says, again, that's having made known unto us the mystery of his will, according to his good pleasure, which he has purposed in himself, or he has proposed right within himself. As a Vessel said, we have Yahweh depicted on this chart as an all-encompassing cloud, showing you that everything on the chart is what? Within the cloud, showing you in like manner everything abides where? Within pure spirit state of Yahweh. So where could he purpose it? Except right within himself. I did get that much out in Springfield.
Yeah.
That the brain, which is likened unto the cloud of Yahweh, one of the names for brain is in self alone. In self alone.
That's right.
In self I looked and there was none to help y'all. I'm all by myself. We talked about what do we know about Yahweh. First and foremost, his name. He gives you declarations. I'm Yahweh. All through Isaiah, I'm Yahweh. I think about that comedian. I'm Batman. It's the constant. See, because they didn't know. But Yahweh gives you enough examples of I'm Yahweh. Look in the mirror. I'm Yahweh, standing for M for married, M for money. They're wise. You get ready to come off of the highway. And what you going this way, you can stay straight or what? Branch off. That's a wise. All these wise, when you show an elevation, look at the rivers, what they branch all off. Your bronchial tube make a Y. All your veins and arteries make a Y. Why? I'm Yahweh. I'm just gonna scatter. I'm just gonna throw the trees. All of these things make enough Y's. You just stumble it over. So you can't say I'm nothing else. And then he say, I'm Yahweh. Now here's another declaration. That's my name.
Right.
That's my name. Well, I can call you what I want to. No. I'm Yahweh. That's my name. And what my glory will I not give to another. He's jealous. Aren't we jealous? No, we're not. I'm sure I'm not the only one. You go all the way back to elementary school when you pull names in the hat come Christmas or Valentine's Day, and they'd always put limits on it. $5 limit on it, and you draw. I draw Sister Banks, and I say, ooh, I know she wanted them little footies, and they cost $7.
Right.
Ooh, I'm gone because I'm gonna give it to her, you know, and the Secret Santa, and she run over and kiss her and say, "Thanks for your slippers." You know,
I gave you this.
yeah, even as kids, we might go to our friend, you know, and we don't want our glory.
That's right.
Where we get it from? Genetically, we get it from God. Because and I'm talking about the attributes of her mother, because our mothers are sisters. And we share the traits of our mother. Genetically, from a spiritual standpoint, Yahweh is all about fathers. And the seed is strong. As they say in Game of Thrones, the seed is strong. So if he's jealous, we jealous. If we want to understand about playing with people's names, we don't want nobody playing with our name, neither does Yahweh. And he certainly doesn't want his praise to no graven images. Another declaration, I'm Yahweh. And see, then he back it up. We just had that. Remember, I had got it wrong here. Remember the former things of old, for I am El. Yes. And there is none else. I am Elohim. That's a declaration. There's none like me. All them other ones that you had out there in Mars Hills, ain't none of them like me. That's why when the Ark of the Covenant, they had it's one of them boys. They took that ark out there because they knew the power of it. They took it out there in battle, and in the heat of the battle, they retreated off and left the ark. And the Philistines or somebody, the pagans got it, and they took it up in Dagon's house. And it's a whole story about the ark and Dagon. And every day they went to Dagon, who was in worse and worse. Was in worse state. Until the last time he was a stump. Hands and legs had been cut off and broke off. The people had hemorrhoids, and they said, look, put this thing on a cart and send it on back down the road. Why? Yahweh proved there's none like me. Don't just stack me up with all these other old pagan deities.
That's right.
Went on through that one. There's none else, and there's none beside me. That eliminates that thing of us saying, you calling this, we calling that. The Buddhists got their way, all these different ways. And he's saying there is none else, and there's none beside me. I've taken a whole bunch of time. We got other testimonies. I'm gonna leave the 3 and 1 for next time. But thank you for your patience. I just wanted to try to redeem that I did learn something about the purpose of Yahweh. If you just share what he gave you and not try to duplicate somebody else's testimony, because that's where you get twisted up, because it's not your song. That's right. With those words, I thank you. Hallelujah.
Our next speaker will be Sister Kathleen Banks.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
I know y'all see me with my paper and stuff, and this is gonna be me, but anyway. Anyway, like the moderator told you earlier, this is a school and not a church. So in school, like in regular elementary, you know, you had your paper and you went up to the class and showed you had to say, and so this is a school, but it's like on a higher plane. Okay, so we were going over ologies, all the little ologies around the tabernacle a while back. And the one that, I'm on my second one. So, this one is going to be on cosmology.
Oh.
And so, I get most of my information from the internet. And so they were saying that cosmology was defined as the origin, the evolution, and the fate of the universe. So can I have Genesis 1:1 and Psalms 8:3 and 5, please?
Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth.
Okay. And Psalms 8, 3 and 5.
Psalms 8 and 3. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man, that thou art mindful of him? And the Son of Man, that thou visitest him.
Okay.
For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yea, and the beasts of the field, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passes through the paths of the sea. O Yahweh, our sovereign, how excellent is thy name in all the earth.
So that's kind of like the origin and the evolution of how this universe came around. Okay, and also the information that I researched about the word cosmetology is that cosmetology fits the pattern.
Cosmology.
I'm sorry, cosmetology.
That probably fit the pattern too, though. I bet you that fit the pattern.
I'm sorry.
We know what you meant.
Cosmology fits the pattern because in our bodies we have these 9 systems, and without these 9 systems we would not be here because we need those in order to live. Okay, we also have 9 planets in the universe. We got these 9 divine attributes of Yahweh: knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, intelligence, love, beauty, justice, power, foundation, and strength. We also have 9 vessels in this tabernacle, like we got 9 in this.
Right.
So it's just a 9 thing going on, you know, with Yahweh, because 9 is divine to him. That is his number. Okay. We say that Yahweh is a cloud. Like we see this little orange, all this orange stuff going around, and everything's inside the orange stuff, or the orange cloud, orange border of the cloud that he chose, because he's not a cloud, as the moderator told you earlier, because a cloud has no particular or descriptive shape or form. And Yahweh does not change. Malachi says Yahweh never changes. But clouds are said to change because they change because of a process called condensation and evaporation. So with that being said, we can see a cloud in the sky. You know, just be looking up. I'm always looking in the cloud, you know, up in the sky. So I always look at the clouds. And I can look at them, and then I can go back and look at them again, and that cloud is gone somewhere else, or it's taken on another shape or form. But that's not Yahweh, because he is not a cloud. He just chose a cloud, you know, to symbolize himself. And clouds, they play an important part of cosmology because they are a part of the heavenly realm. It says in 1 Corinthians 15, 40, I think in 41, about the heavenly realm.
1 Corinthians 15 and 40. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the 41. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differs from another star in glory.
Okay. Alright, with that being said, stars are part of the universe as well, and that's still a part of cosmology. And they were talking about the clouds having colors. Okay. I was sharing with another vessel how we were seeing that the clouds on the bottom were real dark, and then the other clouds were like it was purple and blue. It's just a lot of colors in the clouds. And when we look at these charts, the first thing, if you've never been to this class, that these charts are not in black and white. If you don't understand what's on here or what this vision is about, all you're looking at is pretty colors. You're just seeing a lot of colors, but you don't understand all this writing or the names or anything else about it. You just see that it's a pretty colorful chart. They're not in black and white. So clouds come in colors. And it said that the clouds get their colors from the light of the sun. And it says when this bright light forms, we get 7 because Yahweh is perfect and his number is 7 as well. And we get these colors of red, all these hearts we seeing, and orange, this orange border going around this cloud. We got all this yellow, blue, indigo in the tabernacle in us. We got the yellow, the purple, the red, got it in there. You know, and even in the rainbow, even though it's far away, we can't see it, but like Prego, it's in there. And like the speaker said earlier, we are encompassed around with a cloud of witnesses. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Our next speaker will be Dr. Rodney Hamilton.
Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon.
It's been a while for me. I really like that the last previous vessels. It was fun, you know. Sometimes it's good to have some fun. You know, they talk about these kids in school, but they find out that recess is important too. You know, for them to get out and play and everything ain't got, you know, I mean, you know, sometimes you got to have to be serious too, but you know, some things can be fun. And I thought it was funny when she said cosmetology, but in all fairness to her, Yahweh said he do all things. He created it all. He created it. You gotta have someone get that hair done. I don't see nobody up there sitting here with no nappy head, so now come on. Yahweh don't want you looking crazy. He done created cosmetology too. You gotta go get that hair done. I know.
Study your hair.
You need that hair fixed, but it's been good, and like I was talking about the purpose of Yahweh, that everybody can see, you know, how they little thing that they see. And,
That's right.
you know, Muskin and I always talk about that because I know I'm good for trying to keep, you know, what people say, we going this way, we going that way today, and I be trying to keep with the program, but sometimes I get caught up, especially like I was over here the other day and I was talking to Dr. Dobbs again, and I was like, you know, certain things y'all do so well. You fool. You know, it's just, you know, but at the same time, it's still in you, and when you hear it, you know it's the truth. You know, let's get 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Because see, when you hear it, and you hear it from the vessels, and these vessels got hard, man. Y'all got hard. And then some vessels around. And she was talking about how, not just in our branch, but each branch is to a whole body. Ain't nobody missing in Yahweh. He know where everybody is.
Right.
See, it just, you know, we bound, as she say, by earth, by physical laws like gravity.
Right.
You know, we had these different forces that operate. Without gravity, once again, you couldn't have muscle tone.
Right.
Your bones couldn't form properly. You'd be like Jello. you couldn't breathe either, could you? You couldn't breathe. You got to have it. And you know, they always trying to talk about, you know, belittle the law of gravity or gravity, but it's a minute force, but it's necessary. There's nothing in the pot that don't belong.
1 Thessalonians 5:21.
Yes, please.
Prove all things.
Prove all things. Now, this is one of the first scriptures. Now, y'all broke it down when I came in. Prove all things. Read, dog.
Hold fast that which is good.
It means, in other words, don't let it go.
Right.
Hold fast to that which is good. And for nutrients, you got to have certain nutrients to produce proteins in your body. And that's what they got these evolutionists confounded. They see a flagellum motor is a fully functional motor in your cell. The bacterial flagellum, look it up. It's a motor. It takes 40 proteins to make that motor. So now we're looking at compassed by what? So great a cloud of witnesses. And it's threefold. It's got the little tail that come out the back. Then it's got a membrane to separate that from the inner part. Then it's got another membrane to set that from another part. It's threefold. Nothing, absolutely nothing escaped the power. Prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good. And
abstain from all appearance of evil.
That means don't even look at it. If it looks evil, get on away from it. See, one of our aims, what is to discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan, and who?
His demons.
Satan and his demons. See, they ain't the only one. We're talking about how they got booted out. They ain't liking that one bit.
No.
And they look, they done had 6,000 years to come down. She was talking about how they've been tracing these people DNA. You got that what, mitochondria?
Right.
See, they done found out they can trace it back to one woman 6,000 years ago. Harvard. Go look on I saw it. I think it was a Harvard did it. They ain't gonna come out publicly. You got to find it on the internet. You got to dig for that kind of stuff. They don't want you to know that. Come from one woman 6,000 years ago. So now they got the evolution is confounded out here now. Yahweh showing the truth, and then he also exposing them as well. Showing you see now, it ain't never been no, look, we got a bird. They call it an eagle. Really it's a phoenix. But they make it seem like an eagle. So you got a bird. Most birds got how many wings, y'all? 2 wings. You got a right wing and a left wing, but guess what? It's one bird. So don't get caught up out here in the world with this left and right paradigm. Still one bird.
Right.
See, they all connected to the same bird. So you see one of them doing it. Oh, see, he doing this over here. Oh, the partner, you doing it too. You know? They got it, but this Yahweh exposing them now. See, Satan and his demons was cast out in these bodies, in the earth. Adam was spawned from the dust of the earth. And so Satan and his demons was cast out what? In earth. Abstain from all appearances of evil.
And the very Elohim of peace.
And the very Elohim of confusion.
Peace.
Of peace. That's void of confusion, in other words. Read.
And the very Elohim of peace sanctify you wholly.
Sanctify you wholly.
So that your whole spirit,
right,
and soul, and body.
What's that threefold, y'all? So nothing escapes your power. Read.
Be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Savior, Yahshua the Messiah.
Unto the coming of our Savior, Yahshua the Messiah. And that's the purpose of Yahweh as well. And then for us to come together, we're talking about how sometimes the room don't have no energy. And I get, you'll get there sometime. You'll get to a gig, it could be 10,000 people there and no energy. You get to the next place, there's 100 people there and it's popping. It's popping, So Doc was texting me and said she wanted to go over some things. Let's get our textbook and go to volume 4, page 38. Let's go to the explanation. Explanatory note, is that what it's called? Yeah, page 38.
Is that volume 4, page 38?
Yes, please. Because everything got to go according to this pattern, you see. And we want to know about this Solomon's temple. And we break it down, the previous vessel was breaking it down about how it was the most holy place, and this court went round about. So we really don't have that much of a pictorial illustration of temple itself. But we got the tabernacle.
Right.
See, the temple was threefold. The tabernacle threefold. The migratory trek is threefold, which is a type of the universe. See, this is for a greater and more perfect tabernacle.
Which Yahweh pitched.
Which Yahweh pitched and not man. Okay, now look at Canaan land was their final destination.
Right.
See, ain't nowhere to go once you get here. Now Yahshua said himself, what? When you see the destination of abomination spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand where?
In the holy place.
So now you done been brought up to an elevation. See, Moses and them standing right here. Now this is the most holy place. They stand right here, they elevated. He was brought up, caught up in the spirit. So was John on the Isle of Patmos. These mountains high. They found this mountain in Saudi Arabia. See, when they were looking for it somewhere else, they found it right where I found it, said it was going to be. Because it used to be on, I was seen in Arabia or somewhere on one of these charts.
There it is.
There it is, you sure right there, see? Long before they even discovered it. So them folk had to sneak over there and find it. Now when you go over there, it's all boxed up. You can't even get up there no more. They got armed guards and gates and everything around it. Because, you know, once they find these artifacts, you know, people steal that stuff and get big money for it. You know, and these rich folk, elitists as they call themselves, but they ain't nothing but them old boys got kicked out. Ain't nothing elite about them. But, you know, they're some of the most vile creatures that you ever. And, you know, that always strike me, too. Can we, just divert 1 second.
Yeah.
Can we go to Jude, the 5th chapter? I mean, the 5th verse, I'm sorry. Let's just go to Jude, the 5th verse. And,
Jude 1 and 5.
can somebody get Isaiah 45 and 5 to go along with it? Go ahead, Doc, read.
Jude 1 and 5.
Uh-huh.
I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this,
Right.
how that Yahweh, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not.
Okay, so now, in other words, he really going back to the migratory trade. Is that correct? Right. And see, if you supposed to even get to the temple, you got to start here.
Yeah.
Dr. Smith and Dr. God was talking about her eyes. She can go back here. She's great at starting us here and getting us out here, you see. And the next speaker can come up and just pick it up, but we'll go back here with you. He gonna get us again, Doc. I'm sorry.
I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that Yahweh, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt.
How did Yahweh save the people out of the land of Egypt? We got land of Egypt right here, read, Doc.
Afterward, destroyed them that believe not.
That's when he brought them out here, the ones that believed not. They couldn't even cross over. They had to wait for that whole other generation to come in. What the apostle says, 144,000 go across. He talking about them young men. A war that went on over in the new generation, you see. Dr. Kelly explained that in the textbook too. Read,
and the angels, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
Now, hold it, Doc. Now, that's the thing that baffles me, you know, that we looking at a divine creator, right? Who is all-knowing or all-powerful, all-righteous. Now, the way I understand, there's no guy I found in him, right?
That's right.
So you tell me he can create something like, read that again, Doc. See, sometimes I be missing out like, well, dog, Yahweh, you real creative. You can see some of these people out here now, you be like, how did Yahweh come up with that person, you know? Could they really be just to the utmost, you know, that you... It's baffling to me, read.
And the angels, which kept not their first estate.
Right, them the ones that was with Satan, that was battling with Michael. And his angels, you see, they got cast out and into the earth. Now, Jude writing about them same folks.
And the angels which kept not their first estate,
but
left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness,
unto darkness,
until the judgment of the great day.
And they still under that darkness to this day. Read, dog.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner.
Now he used that as an example. Now we look at the airplane, who running things. Yeah, you see them now. All this was, the apostle said, all this was for our what? Example. Okay, read, dog.
Giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh.
Going after strange, and that's idolatry all the way to 1,000. Read.
Are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Read, dog.
Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities.
Right.
Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the adversary.
Wait a minute now, Michael was fighting with the adversary, so the self-same one that was fighting with him in heaven had to come down here and fight with him over Moses. All right, see? It's the same thing going on to this day now. We supposed to be sons and children of Yahweh, or get Yahshua the Messiah in you, making intercession for you with groanings that cannot be expressed to others. So in other words, he gonna come in here and then offer up his prayer to Yahweh, which that spirit in him is a sweet smelling savor unto Yahweh. And that self-same spirit will be or should be or is in you. You ain't waiting on no birth son. Where is that? Anybody can tell me what that is? I ain't never found that nowhere. I mean, I know I got off on 10, but okay. Read, dog.
Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the adversary concerning the body of Moses, does not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, Yahweh rebuke thee.
Right, read.
But these speak evil of those things which they know not, but what they know naturally, as brute beasts, and those things they corrupt themselves.
See, that's what we're looking at right now, folks. Until Job came along, I didn't know Michael was wrestling with Satan over Moses. I didn't read that nowhere before then.
Right.
See, he on this side of the cross. This play right, this chart right here is one of the most important charts. I mean, all of them real important. But when you're standing in that holy place, see, you looking across space and time. You ain't bound by this flesh as far as what you can see, because we got the scriptures, we got our textbook, we got these charts and other. We got him. See, we got the Holy Spirit. So he can take you all across these space and time. So now when you read, let's go over there to Isaiah then and see if Isaiah, if Yahweh saying anything any different.
45 and 5.
Yes, please.
I am Yahweh, and there is none else.
And when that brief vessel went through this now, I am Yahweh, and there is none else. Read.
There is no Elohim besides
That's the exact verse she called. He said, ain't none beside me. Don't even bring them old gods in there and set them up beside me, like they did over there in that temple. And that's what finally got it. Yahweh had enough of that. You find that over in Ezekiel, the 8th chapter, where they went in there and then they had the, even the priests had the audacity to turn their back on Yahweh, standing there facing the sun, and was praying to the sun god, which y'all got him standing out there at the Statue of Liberty. You got the sun god with rays coming out his head like that. Come on now. Y'all didn't know that. And we want to talk about some sacred geometry. Look at how Washington, D.C. laid out. And then what's the building that's supposed to be the Eye of Osiris? They build the Eye of a Pike in. It's raised up above the Capitol building.
The who?
That building the Freemason building. That they buried the Eye of a Pike in, excuse me. It's got 33 columns. It's 33 feet high. Yeah, that's the Eye of Osiris. It's in there. Go back and look up your sacred geometry. It's a guy got it. You can pull that up too. How they got the whole city mapped out like that.
Right.
The name Maryland ain't by accident. Who worship Mary? Anybody know? All right then. They was already over here. All that stuff you read in your history book.
No, we do not. No, we don't.
Yeah. So that's where we get Maryland. All right, keep reading. Isaiah 4.
I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me.
There's none beside me. I am Yahweh and there is none. And read, Doc. I
formed the light.
Right.
And create darkness.
Alright, so now he said he formed the light. So he took on shape and form right within himself. So I formed the light, but then he had to turn around and do what?
Create darkness.
See, that's a difference. See, he had to create darkness. So that what in his mind he can come up with these despicable, vile creatures, and I'll skip on down and go over that what we read in the scripture lesson. What is it? 4, 6, and 5. See what they had to do.
To whom will ye liken me?
So, in other words, who you notice anything like me? Read.
And make me equal.
Who can you make equal to me? Who gonna put himself on the plane with me? No man can forgive you for your sins. They can't. They got mad at Joshua for doing that. Remember that? Yeah. He said, "Would you rather me say, or get up and walk or something like that?" You remember he checked him about that. They were saying, "Who are you?" Because that's equaling yourself to Yahweh.
That's right.
Because there's the one high priest now, folks. We ain't got no substitute. There is no substitute. Read.
And compare me.
Go back and start from the beginning, Don.
To whom? To whom will ye liken me? And make me equal.
All right.
And compare me that we may be like.
Right.
They lavish gold out of the bag.
That's what I'm looking for. Read.
And weigh silver in the balance.
Right. That's what we got now. We got that system. See, that money system, which really is an illusion of money. Think about the dollar. Yeah, it's a promissory note. That's an illusion of money. You ain't really wealthy. It's not as you think you are. Don't get stuck with no credit. They got you there. You're going to talk about slavery. Them little few hundred years we was a slave ain't nothing compared to that, but they finna put on you when you get that credit. You a slave. You can't miss a day from work and get fired. See, you get home, all your stuff gone. See, that silver and gold, they weighing it in the balance. Money changers, banksters, creditors, they full of, he talk about them all the time. Read.
And Howard Goldsmith.
See, there we go. What is store in Memphis called? What was it called?
Goldsmith.
All right. And it was about the money. You don't come out there unless you got your money on you. We don't want to see you. You want to go down to the thrift store if you ain't got X number of dollars. Don't come in gold. That's the wrong play. Read.
And he maketh an idol.
That's what we looking for. Then they come out here and build this golden calf. Then when they got up here and Rehoboam went to the old men. You remember Solomon died, Rehoboam went to the old men. He said, now you go out there and you tell these people, you know, comfort them and because Solomon had kind of got on their bad side because he had them building and stuff working out there. So then he went to the young men and he said, no, John, you gonna put your foot on the back of that neck. Them folk ran Rehoboam on up out of there. And then they called in Jeroboam, who had been exiled down here in Egypt. His mother worked for King Solomon, and he had come out here in Egypt to flee Solomon. And then when he found Solomon there, he came back. Then that's when he got the 10 northern tribes of Israel. And as soon as he got them, he set up camp. He put one golden calf in Bethel. And he put the other one in Dan. That's when Dr. Will Williams was talking about Dan. They was over on the north side, camped out. But they had that golden calf. See, because Yahweh always have model territory, in other words. And then Saints say, I'll be like the Most High. Right. He come right behind. See, Bethel was where Abraham had offered up. Right. And so did Jacob. Yeah. See, they had built an altar out there in Bethel. But the Saints say, I'll be like the Most High. I'm set my throne. Look, I'm going to be above the star. Look, he came right up there and put that golden calf. Which represent Satan, or that sun and moon god, or that male and female deity, you know. with the sun, and you know how that sun part go down in that part. It's not male. Phallic worship. You pick up all that. She was just talking about all the gods. They in America.
Yeah.
Under Satan's authority is what USA means to me. Read, Doc.
They fall down, yea, they worship. They bear him upon the shoulder.
See, they got to carry their gods. See, they got to burn. Read.
They carry him. And set him in his place.
Set him in his place.
And he standeth. From his place shall he not remove.
Right.
Yea.
Yea.
One shall cry unto him. Yet can he not answer.
Now when did we hear about that? Y'all remember Elijah and the prophets of Baal? When they cried to him?
Yes, they were cutting themselves.
We still waiting on the answer, ain't we? He ain't said that yet. See? Read, Doc.
Nor save him out of his trouble.
See, he can't even save you. And we're looking for one that's the divine Savior, see. One Yahshua Messiah whose name written above every name. See? Alright, let's go and get the textbook.
Okay.
And
Elohim, the archetype, original pattern of the universe, volume 4, page 38.
Picked up the
explanatory note.
That's it. Thank you, Doc.
The Israelites, having reached Canaan land, or Palestine, their permanent earthly destination in the typical geographical migratory pattern.
Okay, hold up now. See, they done reached Canaan land. We'd already read over in Jude, we brought them out of Egypt. And then the first generation did for unbelief, they was washed out. And who went over? Joshua the son of Nun, Caleb, and Eleazar, right? They was the only three out of Egypt that crossed over in here. See? And so now Canaan land is where they finished. That final destination, just like the most holy place, will be our final destination. You see? Ain't nowhere else to go. Read, Doc.
Finally placed the tabernacle on Mount Zion, where it stood for many years.
So we got that right here, the tabernacle on Mount Zion. Right here, the jars, they tight. It's tight. This is Yahweh vision, according to the founder. Ain't no man smart enough to even come up with this.
Right.
You see, and the previous fellow was talking about the different colors and stuff. All that stuff means something. You see. Read,
Yahweh, the great, eternal, and invisible Spirit King and Architect of the universe.
Well, we got it right here. Elohim, the archetype original pattern of the universe. Read.
Whose throne is in the heavenly Jerusalem.
In the heavenly Jerusalem. Now we're talking about this throne right here. This everything in the most holy place symbolized heaven above, or in the realm that cannot be seen with the physical eye, into your psychological and spiritual realm, in other words. So now his throne is up there. See? Read, Doc.
Forbade David to even start to try to build him, Yahweh, a house.
Read.
According to his own enthusiastic desire and architectural imagination, before the proper time, place, and pattern was revealed to him.
Okay, now the proper time. See, for one thing, David couldn't build it because it wasn't the proper time. See, you got a graph over there where it was from the rearing up of the tabernacle to the dedication of the temple had to be 490 years. See, Yahweh operated on a 490-year cycle. That's it, Doc. Thank you. So, even if David wanted to build it, it wasn't time.
Right.
And then David typified the Father. See, the Father didn't build the universe. But who? The Son. Just like Yahweh didn't build the church. Yahweh said, what? Upon this rock. Point to himself. Man. I had to come down here to find that out. This and that. Upon this rock, my Father I will build my church. His Father I will build my church, and the very gates of hell shall not prevail against it. So now, the Son had to build. So David, being the type of father, could not build the temple. But his son Solomon had to build the temple. Read,
But Elohim thereafter revealed to earthly King David by his Spirit, and drew with his hand the pattern of the temple by his great spirit body upon the physical body of the earthly king of allegorical Jerusalem.
So now what did he do? He laid that spiritual body pattern right on top of that one right there, y'all. And then ran his hand down. So this the archetype original pattern of the universe, Yahweh Elohim himself, and then he changed right into this tabernacle pattern. Right. A threefold intangible sanctuary, you see. And then John on the Outer Patmos was looking at that and that at the same time. You can check it in your textbook, it's back there, but we ain't got to go back there. I'm just saying, I'll tell you where it is. It's volume 1, page like 80, 79 to 80, something like that, 79 to 89. And then Moses seeing it here, and then he built it out here. Okay, read,
and made the king understand in his mind all the works of operation of the eternal archetypal pattern or eternal spirit embodiment through his, David's, physical anatomy,
right,
or through the structure and operation of his own physical body while he was in Mount Moriah.
Right, read.
Which King David was to thereafter give to Solomon.
Right, he's going to give it to Solomon.
His son.
His son. See, so in other words, now when Yahweh called Moses up here, he said, let them what? Make me a sanctuary. When you get over there in 1 Chronicles, I think it's the 28th chapter, what Yahweh talking to David, he said, now you bring Solomon and let him build me. So he got verb, he got to build. But now when he took John up here on the Isle of Patmos in the 11th chapter, he said what? Take a rod and do what? And measure temple. What year is that right there, folks?
1896.
When was the temple destroyed?
70.
So what was John? Read, Doc.
His son, who later would build the temple.
Okay.
Mount Moriah is in the city of Jerusalem, formerly called Salem, and Zion, the city of David, in which Melchizedek.
Whoa. Melchizedek, read, keep reading, Doc.
Many years before this time had been ordained by Yahweh to carry out the functions of both king and high priest.
Right.
Melchizedek, having no genealogy or pedigree, was without beginning or ending of days.
Right.
And officiated in Salem 430 years before the giving of the law on Mount Sinai.
Now wait a minute, folks, we got it right here. 430 years before the Mosaic law. It's up here on the charts. All this stuff on here, he just extrapolated and put it in book form. Read.
And the establishment of the Levitical priesthood.
And the establishment of the Levitical priesthood. Now we've gone through this before. Keep reading, Doc.
Mount Moriah was also the exact place to which Yahweh had directed Abraham to offer up Isaac.
Well, we got him right here now.
His only son.
So now this Mount Moriah right here. Then we got King's Melchizedek she just spoke of.
Yeah.
See how this play right here is going right along with this pattern, migratory pattern, and with what she reading out of the textbook. I mean, like, I don't know how Yahweh be doing it, but it's almost like he superimposed these one on top of the other one. And look, the spirit man be moving in all of them at the same time. Man. It's like he can be in all y'all at the same time and still be the man. Read, Doc.
Which son was a type or figure of Yahshua the Messiah,
right,
our present king and only high priest.
Right, we'd already discussed him being the only high priest. There's no substitute. Read.
Now Isaac, also being a figure of him who was to come,
right, by
the promise through the seed of Abraham.
There we go, right, the birth of Isaac.
Was figurative of the tabernacle or temple of the body of Yahshua the Messiah, Elohim.
So, in other words, Yahshua the Messiah himself was the tabernacle of Yahweh. And Yahweh was dwelling in it.
Right.
See, somebody get Genesis over there real quick. What's that, Genesis 49? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, all the sons been called up to Jacob. He giving them their handle, in other words. He giving them insignias. See, when they came down, they didn't have no insignias. They didn't get the insignias till they got down in Egypt. But Yahweh had called Jacob to him and said, I will be with you. And what? 66 of them came down, and then you count Joseph, his wife, and 2 sons. That gives you your 7. So it's got to fit. How many steps in the tabernacle, folks? 7. How old was Joshua's son now when he crossed over into Canaan land? 7. Yeah, the 110 when he died, you see, he was out here 40 years. He was 30 years down here, so he was 70 years old when he crossed over into Canaan.
Genesis 49 and what?
And down there we talk about Judah, tribe of Judah.
9th verse. 49 and 9.
Right.
Judah is allowance 12.
Now this one, you from the tribe of what?
Judah.
Judah. Then the lines were up, and your priest, the order was camped on the east side, and so was Judah. Camped right behind him. So now, the high priest coming out of the tribe of Judah. Read.
From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stoopeth down, he couches as a lion.
Right.
And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Read.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come.
Until who comes?
Shiloh.
Now, who is Shiloh? All right, come on. We're going to find out who Shiloh. Go to Joshua 18 and 1. And then we can go back to the text. So we'll know who Shiloh. See, because this tabernacle is symbolic of the physical body of Yahshua the Messiah while he on earth. See. And so you had, what, 12 tribes of Israel camped about him, right? And then we had the creatures that got the 24 wings. 2 wings for each tribe. See, it's 3 tribes on each side, but only 1 signal was given for the 3 that camped about it. So you got 2 wings for each tribe, which makes 8. Then you got 2 for Moses and 2 for Aaron. That make 12. On this side of the cross. On this side of the cross, you got 12 disciples or apostles. You got the 12 apostles, because the other boy, he went out and hung himself, and the Bible fell asunder, and burst asunder. That's right. And then you had the apostles' son. So you got 12 on this side, of 12 and 12. That gives you your 24. That's why you got the 24 wings on the creatures that surround the throne of Yahweh. Come on, read, Doc. I'm sorry. Shiloh 18, Joshua 18 and 1.
And the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh, and set up the meeting tent of the congregation there, and the land was subdued before them.
So they set the tabernacle up on Shiloh. So now when you go over there to 1 Samuel, the first chapter, go over there and find out where we pick Eli and his 2 sons up. So they was out here in the wilderness for 40 years. Then they came over here, they had to do all that fighting and stuff, right? And then by the time we get to the 18th chapter, they settling in and they set the tabernacle up on Shiloh. So when Jacob was calling Judah, say he was going to be a lion, and then the scepter shall not leave the hand till Shiloh come, then we got to come over here. Then we have a scepter in his hand right here. Look at that. Scepter, 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 scepter. So now that's got to be Shiloh, because he got the scepter in his hand. Where we at, y'all?
1 Samuel 1 and 3.
Okay, good.
And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto Yahweh of hosts in Shiloh.
In Shiloh. So now they still got it up there in Shiloh at that point. So now we know who Shiloh is. Now the tabernacle, or Shiloh, that's what they called it at that time. But it's the tabernacle. Okay, we go back to the textbook.
Now Isaac, also being a figure of him who was to come, by the promise, through the seed of Abraham
Right.
was figurative of the tabernacle or temple of the body of Yahshua the Messiah or Elohim.
Read.
When Abraham offered up Isaac as a sacrifice, it showed forth the tearing down of the temple of Yahweh.
Okay.
As Yahshua the Messiah, also a sacrificial body, later stated, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up.
Read.
Speaking of his own body, of which the temple was a figure.
Right, see that temple was a figure that we just went through this. It's Shiloh, so that's Shiloh right there. Read.
After Solomon had finished the temple, according to the pattern shown only to his father, King David, he dismantled the tabernacle, which was also constructed according to the pattern shown to Moses in Mount Sinai.
Read.
This shows, according to the statement of Yahshua and the following apostolic interpretation, what takes place with the physical body or tabernacle when the spiritual body or temple, which is now being built by Yahshua the Messiah upon the rock, Yahweh is manifest.
Right, read, dog.
For that spiritual rock that went with them, and that rock was the Messiah,
right,
or Elohim, or foundation of the prophets and apostles and Yahshua the Messiah himself.
Right, so we got foundations laid on the prophets,
being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto an holy temple in Yahweh.
Now that's got to be Ephesians, right? Okay.
Yes, 2 and 12.
Read.
This is further expressed in these words.
Okay.
For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Yahweh, and house not made with hands.
Not made with hands.
Eternal in the heavens.
In the heavens, read.
For in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house which is from heaven. If so be that being clothed we shall not be found naked.
We shall not be found naked. See, them boys, they rose up, they clothed, they ain't found naked either. And that's just symbolic, you see, or resurrection. And that's made in temple form. Look at how it made. Same way, just like the temple made. I mean, the tabernacle, I'm sorry, y'all. Read.
For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for what we would be, unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life. Nevertheless, at this time, we have this treasure in earthen vessels.
In earthen vessels, read.
That the excellency of the power of may be of Yahweh and not of us.
Not of us, read.
After David had given Solomon, his son, the pattern, he took a free will offering of the people to be used in the construction of the temple.
Right.
And prayed.
Right, and he did what, Doc?
And prayed.
And prayed, read.
That Solomon would have an understanding to build the house of Yahweh.
Okay, read.
According to the pattern.
And the pattern that he gave David only by running his hands over his body. Read.
Solomon was then anointed king over Israel the second time.
The second time now, folks.
King Solomon was fully determined to build the temple, as he was given special instructions to build. He employed all the strangers in making further preparations for the building. He applied to King Hiram of Tyre for a skillful workman to superintend the building. He employed 30,000 Israelites in the work.
Now, what that man named Hiram?
Hiram.
And that's who the Freemasons traced the sector back to. Yeah, the build of Solomon's temple. Read.
He employed 30,000 Israelites in the work.
30,000,
contracted with King Hiram for wood.
There you go. See, yeah, 30,000. That's funny, huh? He was 30 when he went into his ministry. Okay, read.
Contracted with King Hiram for wood, stone, and labor.
Right.
Received stone and cedar wood, hewn and plumbed to exact measurements in the quarries and forests by his and Hiram's builders. Cedar wood shipped from Lebanon in floats by sea to Joppa and carried up to Jerusalem.
So they had international shipping
Right.
even before Onassis and them got on the scene. Read.
And laid the costly stone foundation
Not that costly stone, foundation. Read.
on Mount Moriah
On Mount Moriah, folks.
in Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem.
In
Read.
the 480th year after the Israelites came out of the land of Egypt.
480 years now, so this go. Now we get down to how long it took to build it and why. Read.
They commenced to build on the 2nd day of the 2nd month of the 4th year of Solomon's reign.
All right, read.
And built the temple without the noise of hammers, axe, or any tool.
Read.
Additional specifications for the building of the house which King Solomon built for Yahweh are observed in that it was 80 cubits long, 20 broad, and 30 high.
Okay, so now was she telling you, giving you the dimension on how wide, how long, how tall it was, breadth, width, and height, which even the apostle, he spoke about the breadth and the width and the height, but he talked about a spiritual temple as well. So now let's drop down and pick up the porch. Pick up that outer court, the porch and all that down there.
Page 40, the porch. The porch, the chambers, and the courts.
Okay.
The porch was 20 cubits long and 10 cubits broad, 120 cubits high, overlaid with gold, supported by 2 pillars.
2 pillars
One
now.
on the right, which Solomon called Jachin, that is, he shall establish.
Okay.
And one on the left, which he called Boaz.
Now, who great grandmama married a man named Boaz? Ruth, man, that was David's great grandmother, Ruth. Read, Doc.
That is, in his strength.
In his strength, read.
Made of molten brass, having 2 scepters, each 5 cubits high.
Right.
Place one on top of each pillar. The engraved decorations of the scepters were of checker work, wreaths of gold chain work, pomegranates, and lily work.
Right.
The porch, surrounded with 3 stories of chambers, communicating with the interior of the right side.
Wait a minute. That's what we was looking for. What's the word he used again, Doc?
Communicating with the interior on the right side.
So, Doc, did you say something about a universal brotherhood?
Oh, yeah.
So that their porch communicating with what?
The interior.
So that means the interior had with these angels embroidered and engraved, right? And then in the Solomon's temple, it was embroidered on the tabernacle. But in Solomon's temple, they were engraved. That's more permanent. And then they had, a cherub, a palm tree, a cherub. Or between the 2 cherubs, they had the palm tree and open flowers. And what them open flowers mean? It's into its oncological perfected state. Isn't that in the most holy place? Yeah. So then the open flowers were what? The veil represents the buds. See, and then once it come out into its fruition, then that'll give us our oncological perfected state. That's why that was you don't have that in the tabernacle. You didn't have the palm trees or the open flowers, but you got them up here in the temple. That's a little different. Look, drop over to that page where it shows the time span. It's a graph. Is that it? Yeah.
Okay, the following chronology compares Solomon's temple to the body of Yahshua the Messiah.
Okay, this will wrap it up for today.
All right, 1490 BY. Departure of Israel from Egypt.
Okay, so 1490 BY, we coming out of Egypt into here we go right here. There we go, right there. 1490 BBY, on the chart. Read.
Minus 476 years. Time from the departure to beginning of Solomon's reign.
Right. Read.
1015 BY. Solomon began to reign. minus 4 more years.
Minus 4 years, read.
Solomon laid the foundation of the temple in the 4th year after he began to reign.
In the 4th year after he began to reign, read.
1011 BY.
1011 BY.
480th year after the departure of Israel from Egypt, when the foundation of Solomon's temple was laid.
And remember, we got to have that 490-year cycle, so that is, it was laid. Now, I think Solomon had been king for 15 years by the time it was finished. Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry, read.
Minus 7 years. 7 years, 6 months is the length of time Solomon's temple was in construction.
In construction, read.
1004 BY. 487th year, Solomon's temple finished.
Remember, they going backwards in time, you know, with the numbers.
Down.
Down. Okay, read.
But dedication was deferred. Minus 3 years.
Minus 3.
Number of years taken to move furniture of tabernacle and new furniture into temple and keep the feast. See also Yahshua after his baptism by John, choosing his disciples and the 3 years of his ministry. 1001 BY.
All right, now we count down.
Which is really 1000 BY because of the half years. 490 years after the Israelites' departure from Egypt is the time of the dedication and also the opening of the 4th millennium.
Well, that's 4,000.
Yeah, 4,000 years.
Is that it, Doc? You got
No,
something?
minus 2 more. Minus 30 years.
Okay.
Number of years Solomon's temple stood without molestation.
Without molestation.
After the dedication.
After the dedication.
See also 30 years of age of Yahshua at the time of his baptism.
Right here. 30 years of age, right here. Read. Yep.
971 BY. King Shishak from Egypt invaded Jerusalem and spoiled the temple.
So he molested the temple 33 years after the dedication. Read.
This makes a total time of 33 years that the temple stood after it was finished before being molested.
Okay.
Whereby the temple was a figure of the total lifespan of 33 years of Yahshua the Messiah.
Thank you, Don.
This concludes our class session for today. Let us stand for our doxology. Our doxology is Jude, verse 24-25. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise Elohim our Savior, through Yahshua Messiah our Sovereign, belong glory and majesty, dominion and power, both before all time and now and ever. Let us all say, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Ride on, King Yahshua. No man cannot hinder me. Ride on, King Yahshua. Ride on, no man cannot hinder me. No man cannot hinder me. Ride on, King Yahshua. No man cannot hinder me. Ride on, King Yahshua. Ride on, no man cannot hinder me. No man cannot hinder me. No man cannot hinder me.